WLRN Video presents.
Here in Wisconsin at the state capitol with Beth Stelzer. Save Women's Sports! Show that muscle! Yes, we are here to be fired up and give testimony.
3 hearings today, back to back to back. We have an amazing team, and this is the first time I got to meet this one person. I've done the WLRN radio show, and it is just so exciting. I mean, the energy today is going to be electric.
Absolutely.
We're already on fire if you can't tell.
Lights up the Capitol.
It's going to be one of the best hearings yet, you guys. Stay tuned.
Yes. Definitely stay tuned.
Beth Stelzer. I'm a wife, mother, former medical laboratory technician. I'm an amateur powerlifter, and I'm the founder of the grassroots nonpartisan coalition Save Women's Sports, and my team wholeheartedly supports this bill. I represent women and men across the world of all backgrounds and beliefs. We set aside our differences to come together on this issue. This issue should not be a partisan issue. This is not about politics or religion. It is common sense. I'm often labeled as a conservative Christian for taking on this cause, but for the record, I am not religious, nor do I hold party ties. I wasn't even involved in politics before this. Yet here I am, an average mom, traveling the nation, filling this unexpected role because I see a need to represent a silenced majority, people labeled as transphobic, bigoted, racist, for simply trying to preserve the rights of females. I am here because courage calls to courage. My eyes were first opened to this issue after carving out the time to train for a couple of years to compete in the Minnesota Women's State Championships. Instead of getting my chance to shine and being celebrated as a strong woman, I was screamed at during disruptive protests that I should be sharing my platform with a male. When I spoke up about the unfairness, I was harassed and bullied, and that's when I started Save Women's Sports as a platform to show other women they are not alone and it is safe to speak the truth. Powerlifting has empowered me through PTSD from male violence, sexual abuse, and stalking. It helped me stop looking over my shoulder and searching for the exits in a room. It gave me the reason to keep carrying on after miscarrying. I rely on these sex-separated spaces to feel safe, and I keep going with more reasons, but I shouldn't need to. This should not be about religion, politics. This is common sense. There are 2 sexes. And while there are disorders of sexual development, commonly called intersex, this does not mean that sex is on a spectrum. We have a dimorphic human species. That means there are 2 sexes. We cannot change them. You cannot make a male a woman by lowering their testosterone. Women are not a hormone level. I have moms telling me that their girls are giving up. They're not even coming to the starting line. And those women call me a warrior for being in this spot today, and I gladly take that title because my words are my sword. The truth is my shield. And today this room feels like a battle to protect reality. So forgive my sharpness of my sword. I would rather be rude than a liar. Despite death threats, I stand here today because there is great power in that truth. Simply put, identities don't play sports. Bodies play sports. Set a precedent that tells women and girls they matter. We are women here saying no. Why is that not enough?
All right, thank you. Now.
Hi. I grew up playing sports. It taught me teamwork, gave me courage to make new friends, taught me how to learn from a loss and how to earn a win. The older girls on my teams were there to help show me what I could be with a bit more work. Growing up with sports led me to continue to seek them out as an adult. And just as it was growing up, seeing what other women are capable of is incredibly inspiring. Working hard and reaching for those podium steps gives you more mental fuel than you thought possible. Maybe one day you could be on that top step. But that opportunity is slipping away. That hope, slipping away. Motivation, slipping away. The purpose of competition is to reward hard work and skill. The fun of competition comes from an even playing field. Studies do show that kids who participate meaningfully in athletics have better mental and physical health than their peers who don't. What does that mean? It means you try hard, act with purpose, and challenge yourself by competing against your equally abled peers. No sandbagging. Sports are divided into male and female categories because men and women are biologically different. It is common sense that competing against each other would not be an even playing field. In 2020, World Rugby did an extensive study and published a 38-page report on their findings. The results were not surprising. Men are stronger by 25 to 50%, 30% more powerful, 40% heavier, and about 15% faster. At best, having such inherent strength and speed difference is unfair. At worst, this size, strength, and speed difference is dangerous and unsafe in contact sports. Boys and men who simply identify as female are being allowed to compete against women and girls. They are easily dominating all sports they enter into. Men and women's divisions were established to mediate biological sex differences, a biologically based categorization, not gender differences, a social construct that relies on stereotypes for categorization. Every man or boy who stands on a woman's podium is taking the place of and removing the opportunity from a woman who worked even harder to try to get there. We have our own examples here at home. In the world of Wisconsin mountain biking, we have a 38-year-old man who until the fall of 2019 was competing in the elite men's field. He's now been topping the women's podiums in every race he enters. In the world of Wisconsin cyclocross, a 27-year-old biological male has been advancing quickly in the women's category, leaving the majority of his female competitors off in the dust and off the podium. In the world of Wisconsin ultra running, we have a 28-year-old man racing as a woman who recently won the women's category, which we already covered. We have a growing group of females, myself included, backing out of races and wondering why they should put any effort into training if no training will be enough. This is not meaningful competition. This is not fair competition. In 1970, fewer than 5% of U.S. girls participated in high school sports. In 1972, the Title IX Education Amendment gave women athletics the right to equal opportunity in sports and educational institutions. Now, 43% of high school girls participate in sports, and those are just the high school numbers. Even in recent years, we have seen a huge surge in girls that want to get active, learn something new, and compete. But having to compete against a male, you know the result before you even start. Why now should we erase 50 years of advances for women, pass this bill, and keep women's sports for biological women?
All right, thank you. Excellent planning. Committee members, questions for Leah?
Your feelings, your success doesn't matter. And why is that okay?
That's how I feel. I feel like people are saying this is a non-issue because really there's only 1% and who's really getting beat and who is this really affecting? And I'm here to tell you that it is affecting us now. It is affecting women and young girls now. And I can't imagine what my life would be like if I did not win a soccer scholarship to go to college. I wouldn't have gone. And if there are spots that are going to soon be taken by people with an unfair advantage, that's what I'm fighting for. Are the girls that this is going to affect later on? My father said Title IX came out and now you have an opportunity to go to college. We finally won the battle to allow women to gain financially from being successful in sports. And allowing people that have an unfair advantage to compete against us and take those spots from us is just putting us back 30 years.
Well, I just want to thank you for being here because, again, there's clearly human faces to both sides of this issue. And the passion that you speak obviously demonstrate that there's a need to address this moving forward. And again, I just want to thank you because it's not that we're not inclusive, it's not that we want to discriminate, it's none of those things. But it is an issue that needs to be addressed, and you having the courage to be here today and showing us that it is affecting real people in the state of Wisconsin right now. Does a lot to show that, you know, our government is being responsive, so thank you.
So Leah, Representative Trammell and you were discussing and talking about sort of the objective or subjective nature of this, and talking about how you feel about it. But really, if I'm following what you were saying, you actually lost championship type competitions to athletes that were previously males.
Correct.
So that's not subjective. That is an objective criteria of something that happened to you. I mean, I know that.
So the individual was racing as a male, not against me. Transitioned to a female and then began racing in the females division, and that's where I lost.
Okay. Representative Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a quick follow-up to that. That particular athlete, or I guess maybe you mentioned two of them, how were they doing when they were competing in the male designated class?
The one that I have competed against was in the middle of the pack of the elite men, which is the highest level that you can race in the state of Wisconsin, in the race series that I'm in. He was exceptional. She is exceptional.
And when that individual competed against you, how much did they beat you by? Not to rub it in.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was a very torturous hour for me. The race was about an hour and 15 minutes long, and she beat me by over 2 minutes, which is a lifetime in a race of that length.
Thank you for coming today.
All right, seeing no other questions, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
testimony.